We are back. The alternative is in the house. Colin, what's going on, man? We went down, we bought some suntan lotion, we got out the swimming trunks. This is part one of apparently 2 parts, which I didn't know. Bash at the beach. What's going on, man? Welcome back. Trudging through literally the snow to get to where you are to record. We're both going through a snowstorm pretty much right now at the same time. It is the winter time. Second episode of the new year. Like I said, man, where can everyone catch you in? And welcome back.
Oh, good to be back. It's always fun to be back. Make sure to follow me on Twitter @OverTieGuy. It was a fun time. You know, we putting on the swim trunks and the suntan lotion to watch some Bash at the beach, and then having to put on snow boots and a winter's coat so I can walk to where I need to record. So it's been an eventful day.
We're like, where's Waldo? We're all over the place in the book.
Oh, yeah.
Every page is a new journey. Well, I'm glad you're safe and sound during your blizzard or whatever the hell is going on over there. What's going on here? You can catch us on NowProWrestlingJournal.com. Get over there, check out all the fantastic writers of What Happened in the Ring. They're your thing with my co-host on the official Pro Wrestling Journal podcast over there, Drew Ortman, the man behind the plane over there holding it down. Thank you guys again for having us there. And yeah, on Twitter at the HibickyTeamD. If you're checking us out on HibickyTeamD on YouTube, that red button right down below for all the best retro gaming and pro wrestling goodness. But like we said, it's Bash at the Beach. This was a special episode of Dynamite. And apparently the one next week on the Jericho Cruise is also Bash at the Beach, which is funny because last week's episode, I think I made the joke like, you know, why wouldn't they just make the one on the cruise fucking Bash at the Beach? But no, we're getting 2 Bash at the Beaches.
Oh, yeah. No, it's going to be good. I mentioned there was going to be a 2-part thing with Bash at the Beach kind of being where it all culminates with the, you know, and it's funny they're doing this in January. You know, it's winter time. It's a weird month, I feel like, to have a cruise, but then again, I don't know the weather system in Florida. Does the weather like not even have a season? Like it only has like 2 seasons or something. It's winter and summer, but it's always summer.
I think once in a blue moon they might see a snowflake or 2.
Right.
Not sure. But yeah, I mean, it at least it's something different, and the set wasn't drastically different, but it was different enough for it to stand out from just another episode of Dynamite.
Yeah, it was nice. I mean, and it was a good show, big matches and everything like that, and so I'm definitely looking forward to next week. I'm interested to see what watching wrestling on a cruise looks like. Yeah,
I know. I don't think that's ever happened, honestly.
Well, they did. When Jericho did his first cruise, they did air the Sea of Honor tournament on ROH.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Streaming service. So I mean, it has been done, but I don't think it's been done on cable television. So. Did
you catch any of that when that happened?
No, I kept along with the results. I had like a bracket and everything. I didn't win. But yeah, I think I saw one of the matches, but I can't remember which one.
I got to catch the maybe just an image of it or something eventually, just see what the aesthetic looked like. Just maybe it's a glimpse of what's to come this week on Dynamite stuff. Yeah. I do want to mention real quick, how dare I not cheap plug the official merch store of the channel, unionsmack.bigcartel.com. Get all the goodness there. The alternative shirt is coming this year. Has been confirmed. Talk to Matt. It's coming. Hang in there, guys.
I'm excited. It's not even going to be the logo. It's just going to be me in my Orange Cassidy jacket posing like Orange Cassidy.
And then, like, you wearing a shirt of that, and then a shirt of that, and just that ongoing fucking, yeah, something.
Exactly. It sells itself.
Speaking of Matt, real quick, I think it's a fair time to bring up that, you know, obviously TakeOver 2 went down this past week. And Colin, I know you called it because I saw you, you know, shouting it out on Twitter and stuff. Fantastic goddamn show. If this hasn't gone up on the channel by now, I graded it an A+ on Union Smack this week. And I feel like this one, Dynamite, had a hell of a mountain to climb to top what we witnessed with TakeOver, Colin. Thoughts on that show real quick?
Yeah, no, I definitely, I woke up early. I always like the NXT UK shows because it always gives me a take of what they have to do with every single show that we watch at our normal times. Yeah, I set the alarm. I woke up early, caught the show. Easily one of the, I think the best NXT UK takeover they've ever had. Yeah. A lot of people weren't a huge fan of the Walter versus Joe Coffey match. That was my favorite match of the night. if I'm being honest. I like the battle of just the two, big hosses just beating the shit out of each other. So, I mean, I was a fan of it. But I mean, as far as the whole show itself, not a complaint at all. I thought every match was great.
It had that thing, what we talk about all the time. It had a very nice flow to it. And I didn't really have a problem with the main event. I also kind of looked at a bigger picture, what these two guys had to follow. I mean, anyone that had to follow Bate and Devlin on that show was good luck. I mean, the ladder match had a problem following it. Look at the teams in the ladder match, but they pulled it off.
Ladder match was great, but Bate and Devlin was absolutely fantastic. Standing ovation from everyone, and then you had Triple H, Johnny Saint, and William Regal up in the balcony doing the same thing. It made for a great moment, and I think despite the fact that he was the first ever NXT UK champion, I think Tyler Bate still has a great, successful future ahead of himself in NXT UK. So I'm really excited to see where he goes.
Sans promo skills, Tyler Bate is already one of the best wrestlers in the world right now at the age he's at.
Yeah, it's phenomenal how young he really is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And by the way, I asked him on air, it was bullshit. Triple H, Johnny Saint, and William Regal were only out for that match. I was like, Matt, come on.
Oh, I know.
You know what they
that.
do.
I mean,
yeah.
Whenever you see, Kevin Nash or Scott Hall in the audience for an NXT TakeOver show in the States, they just came out there 40 seconds ago for that pose, and as soon as it's over, 9 times out of 10, they'll leave before the match even starts.
There's been possible talk, speculation of maybe NXT UK getting a bigger platform to air on, which leads into the biggest news I can't believe we're about to gloss over. I'm glad we did, because we would have been the biggest dicks around. AEW getting extended, Colin, to 2023, and a second show confirmed to come. The executives at TNT are extremely happy. This is all from the article, by the way. They're extremely happy with what they've seen, the results so early in the promotion's existence, and cannot wait to a lengthier business deal, so to speak, to wrap up all the PR bullshit and all that. What do you think, Colin? People are pissed. People are elated. People are kind of whatever. It's more wrestling. I know you're elated. I think it's good. I think it's... Hell, why not, man? It's better than nothing. I mean, shit, we've seen what happens when WWE has absolutely nothing to kind of kick it in the ass and get it not be lazy booking-wise. Even though it's still kind of shit for the most part, it's gotten way better than we were like 2010, you could fair to say.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, no, I'm super pumped about that. I woke up and I saw that, it had been extended through 2023, and I think that's phenomenal news. I mean, I don't know why... I don't know how anyone could be mad at that. I don't know how anyone could be mad at the fact that the show has been extended through 2023. I mean, it's more wrestling. All these great, phenomenal wrestlers now have, a chance to showcase themselves on this huge platform that they've already been able to do. Now they get to do it for even longer, and I'm sure. I mean, early prediction. I think in the future they'll extend it more. So I mean, I think AEW's here to stay for a good long while. So I mean, I'm excited for it.
As long as these numbers stay consistent, that's all they're really looking at, the network. I mean, they could give a shit if Brandi Rhodes could wrestle or not at the network. They're looking at the numbers, to be honest.
Right.
They don't care if the basketball game was good. They want to see how many people tuned into the NBA on TNT that week.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I'll say it so you don't have to. I know your New Year's resolution. I mean, ratings I feel like don't matter, but when it comes time to renew that show where the ratings don't matter, that's when the ratings matter. And I mean, if they're not bringing in money, then that's when you got to let them go. But obviously, that's not the case.
Yep. Yeah. They only directly. They don't matter in the aspect that everyone thinks that they're going to make WWE crumble to its knees. They matter to the executives in-house. You know what I mean?
Right. I feel like if everyone kind of stopped thinking AEW is trying to bankrupt WWE, I know it's advertised sort of like as
Well, the shots they take, though, Colin. Let's be honest. For people to,
oh no, I know that. I mean, cheap plug. I know they've said it's sort of an alternative, wink, wink, to WWE, but it is. I mean, they're not saying anything that's wrong.
Well, I'm talking about hitting thrones with hammers and shit like that.
Yeah, I suppose you can't win them all.
Yeah, nobody can bat 1,000.
Right.
No, I think it's a positive. It's a complete positive. If anything, I think the biggest negative to come out of AEW since its existence is just this grungy piece of shit fan base that I even when the New Japan elitists were at their worst, I don't remember it being this bad at all.
Yeah, it gets to a point where like in this sort of like AEW versus WWE war. I mean, I wish it didn't exist in the sense that like I'm okay if it, you know, it's sort of like the return of the Monday Night Wars or something like that, but I don't want it to. I'm tired of all the fan bases constantly shitting on the other ones, and I mean, and that goes for both ways. I hate it when, you know, the WWE people are always just, you know, shitting on how bad this is or how, you know, vanilla midget this guy is. And alternatively, I hate the same thing when AEW is like, oh, WWE is so bad, you know, they're gonna fold AEW soon, blah blah blah. And I'm just like, just shut up and enjoy the wrestling.
While you can and when you can, especially with WWE, keyword when you can enjoy it. Some of the
Right.
shit they give us. Let's be real. And we're like we say on this 13 episodes in, we're those guys. We'll watch it and we'll judge it fairly. If it fucking sucks, no matter what the company is, we're gonna say it sucks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know
That's
what show hasn't sucked at all? I feel like.
is it the one you recently just started getting into?
Yes, it is.
Yes, NWA Power.
I just started watching NWA Power.
I love how we're talking about every promotion except AEW for the most part on this week. It's fun.
You know, it's the alternative to. It's the alternative to the alternative, you know.
We're that one
Yeah.
podcast not talking about Tessa Blanchard, so it's fine.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I started with episode 1. Each episode's only an hour. It's on their YouTube. Very simple, easy to watch. So I wanted to get into it. I just never had a chance, but I had some time before I had to go back to work. So I'm like, let's get it going. So I started watching it, and I can't think of a single thing I find wrong with the show. I love everything about it. I love the, you know, it is the small things like. It's a bit weird, but I like that they don't have entrance music. I like that they just kind of come out of the curtain and go to the ring. I like the way the interviews are set up and everything like that. It's a very simplistic style of announcing. The fact that Jim Cornette's no longer associated, even fucking better as far as I'm concerned.
Is it fair to say now, in a way, more you see the purest side of me in a way? Like, because that's the style I essentially grew up on, and to see how much it's changed and how much I have to accept this change in styles and shit. Can you see now why sometimes it feels like my passion's getting stomped out like a cigarette butt in modern wrestling?
I mean, there's definitely no flips and dives a whole lot in the NWA Power.
They mean something when there is. That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really cool seeing like these new stars.
Zicky Dice, you got a number now, by the way. Hit us up, man.
Exactly. I was gonna say we got Zicky Dice, possibly a future guest on the show. Not gonna confirm, but I'm not gonna deny it either. I might buy one of his shirts. It's gonna be great. And I mean, I love watching the resurgence of other people. I mean, Trevor Murdoch has been a guy that I only watched a handful of before he left the WWE when I started watching, and to see him again, you know, still going, and the fact that like he has the NWA contract now, he can wrestle full time again.
Yeah,
And it's cool to see, you know, these stars that fit so well with this, like, you know, this new promotion.
Colin, I feel like this is fair to say about a lot of guys in AEW as well. I feel like if Ricky Starks was 6'5", 6'6", he'd be one of the hottest prospects in the world right now. But unfortunately, he's what was given to him. He can't help his size, but that guy's fire on the mic, and he's just got a great look. He jumps off the screen, and he's not a bad worker. He's just got that old school style, which a lot of people appreciate.
Yeah, for sure. And guys like Aaron Sandow or Shooter Stevens, whatever whatever his name is.
Aaron Stevens.
Yeah, I mean, it's seeing guys like him who, like, you know, they left wrestling because they just didn't have, you know, a passion for it anymore, come back and, you know, reinvigorate that spark. It's just been really cool to watch.
I feel like microphone-wise and just bravado and swagger, not Jack, swagger-wise, Eli Drake, what exuberates when just he opens his mouth, Colin, is kind of what Moxley should be saying in his promos more. I feel like to kind of feel like that guy that they want to carry their ball, because Eli Drake is the fucking man, you know.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I think Nick Aldis is the best guy on the mic in AEW right now, but Eli Drake is right behind him.
Aldis is great, but as far as a promo, he drags a little bit. Man, unbelievable look, and he fits that gimmick to a T. That that Flair-esque. But man, just sometimes he drags a little bit on promos. But Eli Drake, I feel like, is maybe my favorite promo in the business now, besides MJF. I don't know.
Oh yeah. And speaking of MJF, AEW, the alternative.
Yes.
We're here.
I'll peel back the curtain a little bit. I have thought about doing like 5-10 minute reviews every week of Power, just a one-man Power trip episode. That's what I wanted to call it. Like, I don't know, something.
We could start our own thing on it. I don't mind doing 2 shows at once.
As soon as we go off the air here, just 5 minutes NWA, boom. I feel like we just did that anyway, so that's the pilot episode.
Let's do it. It's a pilot episode within the actual episode. Next week we'll have
That's how much we appreciate you guys, the listeners. We'll kiss ass while we're can to save a choppy segment. There we go. AEW Bash at the Beach, Colin, this week. By the way, I was right last week. It was from Missouri, not Memphis or Tennessee or wherever.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll be damned.
Isn't that weird that they chose that when they could have just gone to fucking Memphis or just waited till they went to Memphis to do that? Was there really such a high demand and they had to rush that ceremony? We need to just do it as fast as we can before these guys fucking die.
They had to get DDP out there somehow, man. I don't even think DDP is a Memphis legend at all, but, if they had a bunch of legends, then it makes sense that DDP was there. That's how they get them out for the match. It's a whole process.
He did a big group yoga session with them before the ceremony to get them limber. And the best part is the ceremony aired on Dark. It didn't even air on Dynamite.
Right.
Let's talk finally about Dynamite Bash at the Beach. Kicked off 4-way tag team match, number 1 contendership for titles. The top 4 ranked teams, which was great. I loved how this match was pretty much. It wasn't a showcase for all guys because this was a damn good fatal 4-way. Only really one thing irked me, and it's such a little thing, but I feel like it was enough to kind of bother me enough to bring it up. When Nick Jackson does his fucking multiple Northern Lights suplex things, whatever, I get it. He did that, and that's fine, okay? But then, 2 sequences later, you had, I think it was Santana or Ortiz doing the Eddie Guerrero one, right? That was too much.
It's a lot of overkill for the whole triple move spot,
Did you feel that watching it?
I mean, not necessarily. It was one of those with the Northern Lights thing. It was one of those things where, since it's not a thing I feel like Nick Jackson does all too often, I didn't really notice him doing it.
Yeah.
I noticed when Santana or Ortiz were doing it because they mentioned it on commentary and everything like that. But it didn't bother me too much. But I can understand where
it's crazy you didn't notice he did it because he did 6 or 7 of them in succession.
I was probably on Twitter.
And to be honest, I hate when he does that fucking move because logically he's not the wrestler that should be doing that move. That's Jonathan Gresham or Jeff Cobb that should be doing that shit,
Yeah.
But whatever, it happened. The match itself, I think I predicted Paige. We both did, Paige and Omega last week.
I think so, yeah.
And they're going with it. They're carrying on this story. A lot of people thinking Paige is going to turn heel. I don't know if that's the right call because people are eating this shit up, Colin. They literally booed Omega when they took his beer after they won the match. And then he went and got another one. They went ape shit.
I know. Well, it's not. I think Hangman Page just kind of handed it to Omega. And little known fact. I don't know if you're aware. Omega doesn't drink in real life. When it's a shoot, brother. So he just gives it to some random fan. I hope they were of age, or that could be a problem. And Hangman Page just goes, gets another beer, and people are loving it. And I think Hangman Page's heel turn is going to happen. But I think it's one of those things where, as I said on last week's episode, I want it to be sort of like a slow build, a slow burn to that happening. Or they could throw in the plot twist where Omega turns heel.
I think they should go the Omega route, personally. I think they should heel. First of all, Kenny Omega, for me, works best as a heel. I don't know about you, Colin. But I feel like if they want him to get over as that ultra babyface sensation, if they're not going to do it off the get-go, then kind of make him a heel for a while. It's so much easier to get behind a guy eventually as a babyface thing because cool heels are so easy to cheer.
Right. I mean, I like Omega as a babyface, but I think him as a heel works phenomenal as well. So I think, because I don't think they're going to win the tag belts. I don't. I think they're going to, have a big match with SCU whenever they so choose to have this match, probably at the Revolution pay-per-view. But I think something's going to happen. One of them will hit the other by mistake, cost them the match, and that's when the heel turn happens.
They kind of teased it last week with a couple of miscommunication spots, and like they connected, they hit each other by accident, but they kind of just give us tension. But I feel like I'm right there with you. I feel like that was in that match to build to it. Doing it again, it's kind of like when Shawn and Diesel broke up, to send it way back. They tease it at first, and then Diesel's like, whatever, shit happens. It happened again, and finally Diesel had enough. But you just flip that and you make it a heel having enough.
Right, and I mean, another one of the things I noticed in this match was the fact that because it was a fatal four-way match, any team can tag any other team. It doesn't necessarily make sense to me as to why you would want to tag in another team if your partner's not already in there. But Nick Jackson went over to Hangman and Kenny. Hangman stuck his hand out, and so did Kenny, and Nick just kind of winded it up, looked at Hangman, but decided to slap Kenny's hand, and you could visibly see Hangman was like, all right, buddy, okay.
Yeah, again, 2 weeks in a row, great mannerisms, great expressions on Hangman Page, just killing it visually in that aspect. I think the main reason I like this match wasn't like the result, wasn't at the end of the day, wasn't really the in-ring, was just how this match was able to kind of showcase why you should care about every team in this match. Each team kind of got their own little strong in defeat type thing. Like, he even had Orange Cassidy getting in there and getting over huge like he does in that suplex spot. And you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to surprise you again. It's a new year. It's a new me. For his PWG and Chikara and all that shit, is that like 20-man suplex spot was, at least of all fucking people, the one person to kick their legs and look like it was a struggle was one of the Young Bucks. Go figure. Go fucking figure. He went to wrestling school.
Right. I thought the spot was great. I mean, Orange Cassidy, one of the most over people in that whole roster.
For sure.
I think I want him to be not. I mean, I want him to stay as the comedy wrestler, but I want him to start having more serious matches. I want Orange Cassidy to be the one to defeat Chris Jericho. Like, I want Jericho to just run through absolutely every single person, and then Orange Cassidy just shows up, and then in 5 minutes he just rolls up Jericho and wins, and just kind of walks on out, doesn't even take the title, just leaves.
Colin, that's why every deal you've ever had on every show is on-air talent. That's why no one lets you book. What I would do, finally, to showcase what he can do, because he can actually work, for anyone that's ever seen his matches, have a light heavyweight title or a lightweight title and put him in that division,
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, I might have been being facetious with that one, but I think definitely...
No, you weren't. You bought his jacket. No, you weren't.
I bought a jean jacket that he happens to wear
also. When you were trying it on at the store, it popped in your head once, man, I kind of look like Orange Cassidy in this. You know it did.
Maybe just once.
Thank you. I'm glad you're honest for 2020. It's a good resolution to have, Colin.
But it's not why I bought it anyways.
I'm growing my hair to look like Andrade. Guilty as charged.
Oh, man, I'm excited. I mean, I'm growing my hair out long again. I'm going to go the Triple H route. I'm just going to grow it out for like 10 years and then just shave it and never look back. Jesus Christ. I tweeted out watching this match, Colin, Trent Beretta grows more on me every single fucking week. More and more one of my favorite guys in the company. Underrated as shit. Trent Beretta is easily one of the most underrated stars. He could be, he's a great tag team with Chucky Taylor as the best friends, but he's also a phenomenal singles wrestler, as I saw at least in New Japan when he was feuding with Jay White, I believe, for the U.S. belt. He didn't win, but he had a phenomenal match with him.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's finally split hairs on it. What is it about the best friends gimmick, Colin? Because we've never done this. We've never addressed it. What is it that people go ape shit about? What do you think it is?
I mean, I as someone who lives on Twitter, I think it's one of those things where they just kind of have they gain sort of like a cult following with just how, just a tad bit off they are. Because, I mean, I know Chuck Taylor and Trent both have this, this Twitter following where people just they eat whatever they do up. I mean, it's they could tweet out their middle finger and fans retweet it immediately. They love it. It's one of those things where you can't quite explain it. You know it, but you just can't quite explain it.
Is that intangible? Let's talk about something.
I'm gonna be honest.
Good.
I failed English like 4 times in high school. I don't know what the fuck that word.
It's like X Factor, something you can't quite put your finger on.
There you go.
That special something.
Learn something new every day.
I was about to say that. God damn it. Let's talk about something that is easy to define, because it was boring and it was just a shitty way to showcase people. It was this women's tag match. It could have been worse, but man, it was a bad day at the office for a couple people in this match, and it just I don't know. Good. No, good.
I mean, I didn't think it was the worst. I thought it was far better than as advertised. I thought it was far better than what people were saying on Twitter, because I didn't watch the show live. I was at a meeting for my work. So, I mean, I thought it was far better than how people said it was, but definitely could have been better. I mean, and we say this every week, they just need to get rid of the Nightmare Collective thing. It was weird when Sheeta was making her entrance and Luther was just stalking her at the ramp and just not letting her pass. It's not working for me, man.
Positives that I'll try to focus on in this, at least they were smart enough to let Mel carry the ball and when Brandy Rose did as little as possible, she was on the receiving end. She wasn't really on the offense at all. And it was always Mel having to make the save, so Brandy didn't get pinned. That was good. That was fine. That's how you should have booked it. Luther's meant to be creepy and weird, so I was okay. At least Sheeta beat his ass with the kendo stick. Here's my first complaint of the production crew of the week, Colin, because there's a couple. They kind of showed her pulling out the kendo stick when Luther was there, and all of a sudden they shot in the ring and just fucking Mel and Brandy just kind of pushing down Chris Statler, but nothing like breathtaking. And she's beating him, and they missed the whole shot, and they cut back, and she's already like kicked his ass, and it's over for the most part.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, we call it like we see it. We don't give a Dynamite a pass if they do something wrong. I will say, I think one of the bigger problems that they've had since the beginning of the show has been some of the production choices they make. And I mean, you've heard my rants on the picture-in-picture thing that they've done all the time and how they always are missing something good. And yeah, this was no different. And I noticed that too, and it looked weird to me because it looked as if Chris Statlander and Brandy and everything, they were waiting for the cameraman to turn around.
Right.
And when the cameraman turned around, they didn't quite react right on time. So for a second, it kind of looks like they were just kind of sitting there. Sheeta was like sitting up waiting, and then just kind of laid back down and for the kick, and it wasn't great. People
shitting on the moonsault botch a lot. I don't think it takes away anything Chris Statlander as a performer. I think she's great. It was just, like I said, a bad day at the office. Shit happens. I mean, all the greats have botched in a match.
I was going to say, Goldberg ended Bret Hart's career, but no one ever says, that Goldberg is still highly looked up upon, at least as a performer.
Is he?
So, I mean, maybe not the best.
I thought you were going to go the Bret route, but you went Bill. I didn't see that coming.
Well, I mean, I like Goldberg.
It's all right. It's all right. I mean, people like what they're going to like.
I'm a Baron Corbin fan, for fuck's sake. Come on.
Oh, wait, you like this wrestler that I don't like? I'm going to report you on Twitter. Now you're suspended. Boom.
I'm waiting for it. I mean, as a matter of fact, I hope the cruiserweight stands don't come at me anytime soon, because I just learned today I am now blocked by Aria Daivari.
Oh my God. What did you do?
I don't, what I do if I don't directly know is I type in their @name to Twitter, and I type in mine, and I see what interaction I've ever had with them. And so I did that. Nothing came up. I've never interacted with Aria Daivari once in my Twitter career. So then I just looked up my name and his name, not his @name, but just his name, to see if I've ever typed his name out in anything. And I believe it was a tweet that I watched 205 Live for the first time in this year last week. I plan on going back and watching tonight's episode as well, one of my 2020 wrestling resolutions is I want to watch 205 Live more. I want to get back into it. And so, but I looked at it, and in last week's episode, Arya Davari faced a jobber by the name of Jeff Brooks. And so I tweeted, Arya Davari versus Jeff Brooks. The roster must be thin if Davari is getting enhancement matches. Hashtag 205 Live. And I in wrestlers' vanity search all day long. I don't think there's anything wrong with that necessarily. But, I guess he didn't take that too kindly.
I don't know if it's wrong, but it's completely fucking vain, hence the name. It really is. It's the most goddamn self-absorbed thing to do in my book, is just being... and they all do it!
If I was famous, I'd search my name all damn day.
I have the same thing happen to me. For some unknown, begone fucking reason to me, Mia Yim has me blocked. I have no clue why. I liked Mia Yim as a performer. I don't get it. I've looked. I don't know, man. It's fucking weird.
It's a strange... Wrestling Twitter's a weird place.
It's unbelievable Brandy Rose doesn't have me blocked.
Speaking... Right, I figure she'd probably I figure she'd probably flag the whole channel by now over how often we shit on the Nightmare Collective.
K-Stat actually getting a win in this match, pinning Mel, who, like we said, did the work. Which was weird because she is the number one contender. This is more or less, though, I feel like, to keep Statlander relevant as number 3, in the conversation.
I mean, oh yeah, no, you're right. You didn't say anything. Chris Statlander and Hikaru Shida have had their title match, so correct? Wasn't that the match that the Nightmare Collective got involved with?
Statlander had her match last week, yes.
Yeah, okay. So, I couldn't remember if that was still to come or not. So, to what you said, at least they're keeping Chris Statlander, involved. I still think, and I'm sure you'll agree, she's, the future of this women's division. And so I think it's a good thing that they're keeping her, they're keeping her in the limelight. She got the win. She pinned Mel in the match. So, she's at least getting the strong booking.
Yeah. As much as I like her too, Shida, literally every strike she threw in this match completely missed, or it looked like shit. I don't know what was wrong with her in this.
I love me some Shida. Don't get me wrong.
I do too, but it was just one of them fucking matches, man. I don't know.
I'm sure Stone Cold Steve Austin had a night where he didn't perform the best. So we can't fault everyone for a shitty night, but at least she's. I'll take a bad Shida strike over Shane McMahon's best strike any day.
Yeah, you got me there. You totally got me there. Up next, speaking of people that are pussies and block people, Joey Janela with this piss poor excuse for a promo. That's not even being biased. This was the attempt was there. I can see where he was trying to go, but the way he was kind of this weird little fucking slimy shimmy he was doing through the whole thing, he looked like a coked out 80s fucking rocker. I get it, that's his gimmick, but the lighting here didn't do him any favor. I don't know. He didn't look like anyone that could kick any ass anytime soon. And that's me being fair. I'm pretending like, shit's not going down last year with him and I. That's me looking in at this. If I was a casual watching this, I'd be like, who is this fucking guy? Is this like a VJ or a host? Is this Pauly Shore's fucking little brother? Who is this asshole who's just annoying the shit out of me looking at him? I would have punched his face. Joey Janela works best in heel form for me, personally.
I feel like Travis, that he's just working you.
No,
I feel like he's trying
not.
to piss you off, and it's working.
He's not. He's not. What? Tell me if this guy came up to you talking all this shit, the way that he was talking and glimpsing all this shit he was doing in this promo, would you not go right in his face? Literally, honestly.
No, you're right. I definitely would. I don't have the disdain for
let's flip that. If Keith Lee just comes up and frowns at you, you're going to shit your pants and have to go home for the day and change.
You're not wrong. Keith Lee's a terrifying man.
There you go. Love me some Keith Lee.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, what did you think of the promo?
I like I said, it takes a lot to piss me off or made me think something stupid. So that being said, I didn't hate it. I mean, I'm a man who likes this kind of like high school romance drama type thing.
Yeah.
So the whole, feud he has going with Kip Sabian over the fact that, his actual IRL ex-girlfriend Penelope Ford is now with Kip Sabian, also IRL. It's one of those things where like I'm gonna eat it up right away. I think it's great. So I mean that I'm more involved and prone to like it than someone like you would. But I mean, that being said, I mean, yeah, he's not an intimidating man, so to speak. I mean, he's not, like you said, if he came up to me on the streets, like if I stole his girl and he came up to me on the streets talking that, I'd probably just, blow at him because a gust of wind would knock him over, that'd be it.
The crazy part is, and I'm being completely honest, even though it's going to sound weird, I'm more intimidated looking at Marco's stunt than I am Joey Janela, because I feel like Marco's stunt would literally like jump on my shoulders and bite my neck like a vampire or something, like a little fucking monkey or some shit. Guy's crazy.
I mean, I feel like I'd rather fight 10 Marco stunts in a field than I would 10 Joey Janela's.
Is that the midget pony or one giant pony thing summed up?
It's like the thing where it's like, how many fifth graders with bike helmets do you think you could take on in a field if you had a baseball bat?
Would you rather fight one Big Show or 20 Rey Mysterios?
Oh, God. Do I have a weapon?
I don't know. Either way, 20 is a lot of dudes. I don't know.
I mean, 20 Rey Mysterio's pretty buff. I think I'll take my chances with one Big Show.
I feel like eventually...
just hit him with a low blow.
He'd eventually either get tired or hungry. They don't even have the upper hand.
Right.
Yeah, it is what it is. Let's at least positive out of this storyline. At least they're finally explaining it on television and not on an internet show or dark.
Right, for sure.
That's nice to see.
I mean, I keep saying I'm going to get into being the elite. I probably never am at the rate I'm going, but I mean, it's nice when things get explained and I don't have to wonder, like, why is this happening?
If you did a 5-minute one-man review of Being the Elite each week, I'd throw it up on the channel. And that'd be a good way to get you motivated to watch it every week.
Fuck, I guess I have to now.
Well, I mean, I can edit that out. I don't know.
No, I got it.
I love how, like, if you got fired on air, I'd leave it in, but I'll edit that out.
I was about to say the same thing. It's like, if I get fired on air and I'm crying, it's like, we'll leave it in. It's good television. But that was too much.
Yeah, it is what it is. Let's talk about back to storytelling at its finest this time. Cody Rhodes promo, another banger, Colin.
I think Cody Rhodes one of the best on the mic in AEW, in wrestling today now. I like that Arn Anderson wasn't there. I think it's good that he's not, always following him around.
Kind of reel back a little bit and not always make the babyface look like he needs help. I'm with you.
Right, exactly. And yeah, we got the answer. Cody Rhodes agrees to the stipulations. He'll take the 10 lashes on TV. He won't touch MJF until Revolution, and he'll do the cage match with our friend Rocky's favorite wrestler, the World Warloaf. I'm looking forward to that match. I mean, I'm excited to see this guy wrestle because I don't know who he is outside of the fact that he just wears a suit and has my old haircut.
In WCW, they had a cage match once where the top of it was surrounded with barbed wire, so you couldn't escape. This match is going to be surrounded by dinner rolls because the loaf is in the cage, Colin.
God, what a fucking transition that was.
My God. I don't know if the match is going to be good with the loaf and Cody, but I feel like there's going to be... Everything MJF has been touching, except for one botched move, has been gold, let's be honest. He's not the best in the ring, but he doesn't have to be. Neither did Roddy Piper. It's just, this is the best program in this company, and it has been for the past couple weeks, hands down.
Absolutely. I mean, MJF is a star. Cody Rhodes, already a well-established wrestler. I think this is and the storytelling has been there since day one. As far as I'm concerned.
Seeds have been planted, dude, literally since the pep rally last year, if you think about it.
Exactly. So, I mean, it's going to be... I'm very much looking forward to Revolution when MJF and Cody finally, can go all out and get their hands on each other. I think it's going to be a phenomenal, blood-filled match.
I think this promo was a prime example of how you can tell he's kind of Dusty Rhodes' son. If you ever watch a classic Dusty Rhodes promo, really, at the end of the day, this promo, at the end of it, it didn't really get us a whole lot of progression-wise, storyline-wise. It was just kind of like accepting a match, but it was so, I don't want to say long-winded, but just kind of just tied that bow on why we're here in the promo and just said so much, but it really, it was so little, and it just worked.
Exactly.
I don't even know if that made sense, Colin, but it did somehow.
It did.
Number one contendership, two matches for this show. This surprised me it wasn't the main event, by the way. Moxley and Sammy Guevara. By the way, I tweeted out while watching this again. A couple years from now, Sammy Guevara is going to be one of the best heels in the business. He's got that Miz factor about him, that look, just you want to punch that face. Good enough in the ring, fine enough on the mic for where he's at now. Like I said, seasoning a couple years, you can only imagine. What did you think of just the sign gimmick he's doing?
I like Sammy Guevara a lot in the character he's in. He's sleazy. He's kind of gross. He's an asshole. And you're right. You just want to punch him in the face. I think he definitely has a nice mix of. I think in the future he'll be a nice mix of like old school Miz mixed with Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
I think he's great. I think this match really good from both men. I think it was interesting how Sammy Guevara was in a number one contenders match for the AEW World Title. I think that was a bit interesting. I don't know if they ever, said anything as to why he was in this match or anything like that. What would happen if he won, kind of thing. But definitely good match. Showcases both guys.
Well, he would have gotten the shot. They did mention that Sammy Guevara would have to face his mentor if he won this match. That's the downside for Sammy in this match. If he does win, it's an interesting position to be in.
Right. Well, I mean, the winner of this match faces the winner of.
Well, yeah, but like one step further to facing his mentor. Blah blah blah. Yeah, but you know what? My favorite fucking part of this whole thing was I love how it's taken an entire week to not only catch Jon Moxley with the stolen vehicle now that's not in his name, but he just drove it into the arena. Blah, 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 blah. You know that police cars have scanners on them that scan your license plate. Just driving by them. They could just be fucking dicking around on their phones or something in the squad car. Their computer's going to get you. I love how I love it. Pro wrestling, man. Only in wrestling.
Pro wrestling's the greatest thing. Some of the things that happen would just never happen in other sports in real life, and that's what makes it such a great phenomenon.
Somehow Steve Austin always snuck in with the monster truck or a fucking Zamboni or some shit. Man.
Right, it's like back then, I'm sure fans were watching like, how did no one stop him when he was on the street driving that here? Like, come on now.
Mm-hmm. First half of this match actually really bothered the shit out of me. It was Sam and Guevara just making Moxley kind of look like shit, carrying the entire match, dominating Moxley in this, and just goes back to that look, that heel look Guevara has compared to this is supposed to be their, quote, Steve Austin guy right now, right? Just total opposite of what this match should have been. This should have been top 6 minutes. Guevara, I'm not saying Guevara got squashed, but just it was like cat chasing a mouse. And when the mouse got his shit in, it was him being sneaky to get his shit in. You know what I mean? I don't know. The second half of this match felt like a completely different match than the first half.
I mean, I think it's one of those things where, like, you don't want – if Sammy Guevara keeps losing and he keeps not at least, looking like he has a chance, then it's one of those things where eventually it's like, why is he in the inner circle? Why is he doing this? Why is he doing anything?
But I feel like you do that. You give him those spots to shine with lower card guys like a Darby or something like that. So he saves the chicken shit stuff for when he's in there with much bigger, name-wise guys, Like, he's got the skills to be in there, but when he's in there with the top dog, he runs because he's a little bitch, because that's his character.
I mean, I didn't hate it.
It wasn't awful. It just irked me, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get that. But, I mean, in the end, Moxley got the win with that rear naked choke, catching him and everything. I thought I liked the ending a lot.
Oh, I mean, post-match was the best goddamn part, because, I didn't see this coming, and finally, it gave that much-needed fucking edge to this, why is Chris Jericho this middle-aged goth guy all of a sudden? It truly felt like his character was kind of almost pure evil in a way during this. From what, the Inner Circle came out, swarmed Moxley, beat the shit out of him. Hager actually did a move. He's getting paid all this money. I think it's the first fucking move he's ever done. Was this knee, Colin?
I was gonna say, I mean, they were waiting for his Bellator fight. They were waiting for his Bellator fight to be over, and he still hasn't done anything. Been over for months.
The beatdown was nothing but, just another beatdown. But then this jacket Chris Jericho's been rocking for the past couple months with these literal almost nails in it, kind of like a Road Warriors all the way around if you're not familiar. I don't know why you wouldn't be. Took one out, and then we all know what happened. The spike in the eye, it was so fucking old school. It reminded me of the Dusty Rhodes Legion of Doom stuff in NWA, the Jerry Lawler stuff in Memphis. I'm pretty sure that's where they got it from because Cody's totally old school, and I loved it. It was everything it needed to be, and then some. Just the execution was great. Moxley, it's that little thing that guys do where, you hold, everyone knows how to do it since you're a kid. You hold your breath till your face turns red. Moxley did that in this match when it mattered, and it just adds to that effect like you literally got stabbed in the eye, and it was everything about it. The camera crew shot it perfectly for once, and it went off without a hitch in my book. This may have been the best part of the entire episode.
I would agree. Yeah, no, I think it made sense as to why he, sure, the spiky jacket could just be, an accessory, but it's cool to kind of see him use it as a weapon and everything like that. And and an effective one as well, especially, stabbing him in the eye and everything like that. And
I just hope Chris Jericho remembers to never hug his children when he's wearing that jacket. Like, he just doesn't accidentally forget, like, oh shit. Like,
That'd be pretty bad. His kid is like damn near almost taller than he is now, which is baffling. But
yeah, wow.
We'll see. But I'm looking forward to the Moxley Jericho match. Given the result of the main event, I'm still pretty sure Moxley's gonna win. I think Moxley versus Jericho is gonna be a great match, and dare I say, I think they're gearing up for someone to take the belt off of Jericho, and I think that someone might be Jon Moxley.
Yeah. You know what I think's great, Colin? I think we're fucking great because we predicted this next match almost down to a T last week. DDP, QT Marshall, Dustin Rhodes against Butcher and the Blade and MJF. We predicted who's eating the pin, why they're eating the pin, and the outcome. All of it. Look at us.
We were fantastic. What we did not predict was that great shirt MJF was wearing, the one that says,
"Can you purchase
Dallas's daughter?"
Can you purchase that on AEW?
If you can, I'd be disappointed.
Number one, she's of age. Number two, if you look her up, you get why you should probably buy the shirt. Shout out to you, DDP. By the way, DDP, gotta say, I get it, guys. I get it. We get it. He's fucking old, but you know what? They're not putting the rocket to his back. They're not. He's not
the world champion,
If you can still fucking go and you still have what you had in your prime, an ounce of it in pro wrestling, bookers are always and forever going to do that shit. Ric Flair first came for the first time to the WWF when he was 41 years old. 41 years old. Then he finally, in 92, then he went back and did some of the best promos of his life. Just calm down, guys. Talent's talent. But when your days come, But
I don't think those days have come for DDP yet.
No.
I saw him in this match, and he was moving around pretty great. I love the spot where he shoved the bunny off of the corner and just dived onto everyone.
Deserves a better, proper retirement match than this. If this is it, I don't think it's it. I think it's going to be a one-on-one, off into the sunset, thank you, DDP match. And I love, like, the 96 tights he was rocking. Not even, like, the jeans with, like, the ribs supported. No, this was, like, 96 DDP here. Loved it.
I think it was great.
I loved it for all the wrong reasons. Not because it was a classic or must-see, but just because it hits you in the feels to see DDP out there, especially what he's done. How could you not feel positive for a guy? Look how many lives he's essentially saved. Whatever.
Yeah.
QT Marshall eating the pin though. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was obvious that he was going to, but I liked it because I was watching this match and we thought this was going to be just a kind of like sort of 5 minutes. They'll get their stuff in, but the Butcher, the Blade, and MJF will kick their butts. But Dustin Rhodes, DDP, and QT Marshall holding their own in this match against the Butcher Blade, MJF, and I mean, and by the end of it, I was thinking they had a chance, and then out of nowhere, you just had MJF roll up Marshall for the win.
DDP did a fucking dive. He did a dive. What the hell? I mean,
he did a dive. I'm pretty sure Dustin did another destroyer. It had everything.
In a world where Ricky Morton does a Canadian destroyer, why am I even surprised slightly?
I mean, who doesn't do a Canadian destroyer, Travis? I do Canadian destroyers.
My dog does a Canadian destroyer when he has to poop.
Hashtag
Who
else does Canadian destroyers? Make it trend.
It's kind of like who better than Canyon? Everybody. Fucking everybody does Canadian destroyers. So over it. Main event, weird but refreshing to see. Darby Allin Pac, another on the road to the number one contendership match next week. The winner faces Jon Moxley. Best match of the night. I was blown away more by just some of the technical ground wrestling on mat wrestling in this than anything. The Lamahi straw cradles, beautiful crucifix transitions. Darby Allin, man, more and more, he's so underrated and just this. He's just this hybrid guy with he's got so many styles under his belt he can do. It's that weird Dragon Gate mixture of just fucking, I don't know, I don't even know how to explain that style, but it's cool to watch when done right.
I think Darby Allin's one of those guys that you could put him in any promotion with any kind of style and he would blow it out of the water.
Credit to Pac too, Jesus, goddamn Christ, this guy, it's Pac. I mean, what you see is what you get. Does he ever really disappoint? Sometimes he'll have kind of not a mediocre match, but just kind of, well, for a Pac match, it's all right. But any other match would, that was fucking awesome,
Yeah, no, I mean, dude hasn't had a bad match since he got kicked in the dick by Enzo Amore and lost the Cruiserweight Championship. I mean, guy's been on a roll for years now, ever since he left WWE. And I mean, this was no different. This match was phenomenal. I also think it was the match of the night. I think, God, Jesus Christ, that powerbomb onto the steps was vicious.
Oh, God. Yeah, I really hope Darby Allin can walk in 5 years. And I mean that in the best intentions, but this guy scares me a little bit.
Darby Allin, I feel like, is on the same boat as Jeff Hardy, where it's like he'll do these things to his body for years and years, but, come when he's in his late 30s, early 40s, he'll still keep going some way or the other.
Great look, and I got to admit, this week, my son and my girlfriend kind of popped in while I was watching. By no means do they sit down and watch AEW with me, but as extreme casuals, during the opening match on this week's episode, the tag match, my girlfriend even made the quote that this is pretty cool. And my son saw Darby Allin and go, whoa, who's that guy? Is he coming to WWE? So there you go. There's the most casual people you can think of in their comments. And usually, and by the way, it's not like they walk in at the best times weekly. They're like, it's Nakazawa wrestling on Dark or something. But usually it's, what's this? But yeah, this week they were into it. There you go.
That's when you slap your son with the alternative link and tell him, no, he ain't going to WWE. It's an AEW, the alternative.
By no means do I ever want my son to listen to this show. Trust me.
Do either.
Jesus Christ. With that, we had Pac, back and forth match. I mean, it's if you can accept modern wrestling and just bite the bullet and take it with a grain of salt, it was what it was. I mean, you're going to have your no selling and your strong style bullshit, but if you can get around that, this was what it needed to be. The right guy won, and it showcased the loser. Another way, they're doing it, man, and I feel like by this time next year, Darby Allin is either going to have one world title victory in his belt or going to be in the title picture. I think that's what they're building to with all these defeats. They feel what the crowd feels. They hear the podcast. They see the people on Twitter. They see this mass just cross appeal with Darby Allin. They know it. They're just waiting. They're letting it simmer, and you can feel that.
I think Darby Allin is a competitor who he gets the loudest reaction. When he'll get one of the biggest reactions when he finally scores, a huge win against that guy. It reminds me. Throwing it back a couple of years, it reminds me of Gabriel Kidd in WCPW back when that was a thing. He went on this losing streak that kind of became his gimmick. I mean, I watched this mini documentary they did when Defiant Wrestling went under and everything, where they had said that like his losing streak happened organically, like that's just how they booked him, but that wasn't the plan. But then the fans started to catch on, and it became his gimmick. And he was facing Joe Hendry and Cody Rhodes in a triple threat match for the WCPW Internet title. And Gabriel Kidd just gets the win, and the entire arena loses their mind. They were so pumped for this win, and I think the same exact thing will happen to Darby Allin. He'll finally get that huge win that he's been looking for, and the entire place is going to lose their minds.
And I feel like when he does, it's going to feel like when Jeff Hardy first won the WWF title, right? And everyone was just so kind of shocked and happy at the same time. They had this. I feel like it's going to be like that, but Darby Allin's not going to fuck it up with the drug suspension. We're actually going to get somewhat of a good reign out of that. So only better things.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that was Dynamite this week. Goes off the air with Pac getting the win with the Black Arrow. 1, 2, 3, clean win. Pac. Tony Schiavone, I thought, was going to get his ass kicked after this. He came in to interview Pac, and Pac looked immediately, you can see the veins in his neck, like, what the hell are you doing in here? Ready to just rip Tony's head off. He didn't, but just snarky comments back at Tony, making all these comments. You might as well just give him the match now because John Moxley's not going to be able to show up next week. All of a sudden, Tony Schiavone magically in his earpiece hears that pro wrestling thing, and out of nowhere, just coincidence, well, it's what's happening backstage. You go to backstage, there's an ambulance, John Moxley, and John Moxley breaks out, eye wrapped up, charges to the ring, comes out on the stage, gets on the mic and said, I will be there next week to kick your ass. And that's how we went off with kind of a pull apart. They didn't really get to touch hands, but agents and shit and guys pulling them apart. That's another case of pro wrestling timing, just so coincidental that he happened to get out of the ambulance, whatever. How did you feel about the ending, and how did you feel about what do you grade Dynamite this week? Bash at the Beach, not Dynamite.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was fine. It was kind of like your standard, rivalry ending between Pac and Moxley and everything. The whole number one contenders thing. I think Moxley and Pac's going to be a great match. And so yeah, I think the episode really good. I think I'd say like a strong B plus, maybe an A minus.
I'm gonna give it a B. I think it did enough right. I think all the in-ring was good. The main event was damn good. But I think for something you're going to bill as Bash at the Beach, just needed to be a little more. And I know we're getting 2 parts, and next week's probably going to be the better show just because of the location. But why couldn't both weeks be? This one just felt like a on the road to a better show again. But it was still very watchable.
I feel like that's kind of what it was billed as. I mean, you can't do them all on the boat because, I mean, the cruise can only last for so long. Right. People can only take so many days off from their job to fly to Florida.
Yeah.
But I think it'll definitely be worth it in the long run as far as next week's episode and what happens there.
Maybe I'd lean more towards the B+, just because how good the main event was. Just because the main event, I think the best thing about the main event, Colin, why it was our favorite, because it looked the most like a fight than any other match. It looked like a struggle than any other match on this.
Right, yeah, no, I think, I would definitely agree with that as well. I just think it was a good episode. All the matches were really good. That's the thing. Like, it was a phenomenal show, and I mean, well, not really good. The tag team match was a bit questionable, but I think all the matches did what they had to do, and the people who needed to win won.
I also love how Darby had all these red marks all over his body, and Jim Ross even made the comment, it looked like he'd been in a car crash. It was very apropos, because it looked like he was. So,
I mean, most of the time, if a Darby Allin match doesn't end with someone looking like they've been in a car crash, it wasn't a good match.
Very true. That's it. We're going in for the beach from the day. That's part 1. Before we get sunburnt, we got to come back here for more surf and fun next time for part 2. But until then, check this show out. It was a very watchable show. It had a pretty decent flow to it. If you can get around, I don't think the match was, like the women's tag, like we said, was dog shit, but I feel like it was just suffered from a dead crowd. It's not even people were booing the shit out of like, go away. It's just like, oh, let's sit on our hands. Maybe if we're silent enough, they'll write this off television. People just don't care about the Nightmare Collective, Colin.
Nope.
At all.
Not one bit.
Hopefully, people care about you and I, this show, but do they care about the jacket? Can they follow you in the jacket where?
They can follow me on Twitter at UberTieGuy. See me and the jacket in all its glory.
Hopefully you're rocking something a little heavier than that Orange Cassidy jacket with all the snow you're getting up there right now.
It's surprisingly not cold when it snows here. Like, it sucks, but it's surprisingly way colder when it's not snowing.
Colder than a mother-in-law's kiss.
Yeah.
Hits that don't miss. The hits that don't miss always. All the fantastic writers right here, ProWrestlingJournal.com. This show, all the shows from Invicta TMD, the official podcast network. Man, that feels good to say at ProWrestlingJournal.com. On Twitter at the Hibiki TMD, official Hibiki TMD merch. UnionSmack.BigCartel.com. Get it while it lasts. Everything is on sale right now. And look for the alternative shirt coming this year. Until next week, this is the alternative. Bash at the Beach Part 1. Until then, cowabunga, dude. The future is mine on the line. Sammy Guevara is my time just to take flight.